Hi there, my name is Mel Thompson, and Susan has kindly asked me to come on and give you a little session on well-being and just strengthen your mind. And we've been working on your body, but this is about your mind and how you can strengthen yourself, build resilience so you can cope with challenges, because we all need that. As much as we do need to build our body and our core strength for our physical strength, we also need to build our mental strength. So this is not about poor mental health. This is about just building good, healthy mindset. So today I'm going to be bringing you a session on how to deal with feeling overwhelmed. And I'm sure there has been times when you have felt overwhelmed during this period that we've all faced. It's been such a challenging time, such a difficult time, a time that we've never probably experienced anything like it before. And there are periods, definitely for myself, where I felt overwhelmed just with what's going to happen next and different concerns that come up. So hopefully these strategies will help you to get those tips and tricks to really overcome. That's what the aim of the game is, to be an overcomer, not to feel stuck and not to feel like there's no hope and no way forward. So that's what this is going to be about. So just make yourself comfortable, just like you do in the exercise room. Get your own space. Just relax, take it in, take notes. I always encourage my ladies to get a notepad, get something that they can write stuff down, because writing really helps you to process information and really helps you to jot down your feelings. So if you have a notepad, grab it, grab a cup of tea or a water, whatever it is, and really enjoy. So yeah, we're going to talk about feeling overwhelmed and what that does. And we're just going to cover a few things. First one we're going to cover is about making space and time for yourself. And we all have busy lifestyles, and it's so important to do that. The next bit is going to be about being kind to your mind and really focusing on how you can be kind to yourself. We often look to be kind to others, which is a beautiful thing to do, but sometimes we need to take a bit of time for ourselves and be kind to our own mind. How to make some changes, how to make those little changes, and we'll talk about that as well. And then just a little recap on what we talked about, and a wee challenge, which is always nice, a wee challenge to get your teeth into and to use some of the strategies to see how you can work them for yourself. So looking at time and space for a bit of calm. When we're feeling overwhelmed, we can feel like our mind is churning. We can feel that there's just no space for anything else. And sometimes we can't process because it can be busy in there, a bit like a traffic jam, lots of beeping, lots of things going on, can really make us just not know where to start, I think is often the case. So that feeling is so important to capture that and to capture a space and a time where you can feel relaxed and feel just calm. And that's an important place to find in your world. So, and it would be so different for everyone. If sometimes it can be a case of locking yourself in the bathroom. If you've got small children, I remember doing that when my children were really young, actually locking the bathroom door, sitting on the toilet seat for 5 minutes just to chill and to be able to regain my focus and be able to start to think, okay, how am I going to just get through the next couple of hours before bedtime? So, but maybe you've got a lovely plate. Maybe you've got a little area that you can set up. Maybe you've got a little place in the living room, or a little, even in the bedroom, it could be a little area that you just go to for 5-10 minutes just to breathe and really just breathe. That's an important thing. I am guilty of shallow breathing, and I'm trying to coach myself to breathe deeply, to really fill my lungs with air and appreciate the space that I have, and to clear my mind and clear myself from all of the stresses and anxieties of the day. And get outside, get outside. There could be a little space in your garden, even in the cold. I mean, just to sit wrapped up, look around at the trees. That can really, really help. A bit of time and space for yourself is so important. It could be a little walk around the block. It could just be a little gentle walk. Sometimes being outdoors can really help us just clear our minds and really help us to focus on what we have around us. it can declutter. That fresh air can really help to really declutter our minds as well, looking at the beauty that's around. We've got some beautiful scenery and some lovely things around. We're blessed to be in Scotland and have amazing greenery and stunning hills and things like that. We've got friends in the Netherlands who live, obviously the Netherlands is completely flat, and they always comment how beautiful the hills are. So I do encourage you to go outside, have a little space and time to yourself outside, and just breathing is so important. Remember to breathe. When you feel tense and overwhelmed, take time to breathe and breathe deeply. And try to journal your feelings. And we're going to talk a bit more throughout this session about journaling, because it's such an important thing to do. When you've got 5 minutes, write down how you're feeling. It could be pretty raw. It could be, a whole load of horrible feelings that you have right now. Journal it down, because you can unpack it. If it's still up here, it's going to stay up there and get muddled with everything else. So it's important to take it from here and pop it down on something. A bit of paper is preferred, because our phones are a distraction. So get that little notebook out or somewhere that you can pop it down. And no distractions. Distractions are a huge thing in our world. There's so many distractions. We've all got busy households. We've got technology coming out of our ears. So it's so important to put your phone away and to put devices away, and things that are going to ping at you or take your mind away and onto another level of being overwhelmed again, on our anxiety, different things that come up, demands and things like that. So I encourage you, when you find that little space to go and relax, that little space to go and really start to unpack and unwind, put distractions away. It's such an important thing to do. So we're just going to take a little moment. You may want to pause this so you don't have to look at me for a couple of minutes, but if you want to pause it and just think of a space that you could go to when you're feeling that overwhelming feeling coming on, or worried, or just feeling a little bit stressed. Where is it you can go? What time of the day would that be? What is it that you can set aside a little bit of time and space for yourself? So just take a wee moment just to do that and have a wee think. Okay, hopefully you've had a little bit of time to do that, but don't worry, these you may need to go back and do this, so it's just helpful while we're talking about it to have a little bit of time to think. The next thing we're going to talk about is being kind to your mind. We're often our own worst enemy. We've often got our inner critic. We've got an inner bully almost sometimes that can be quite harsh. We can be quite harsh to ourselves. And we give ourselves very high expectations, and we place a lot of demands on ourselves. So while we've got demands coming in externally, we often give ourselves a huge amount of pressure. So replacing your negative self-talk with positive self-talk is such a good thing to do. So recognize when you're saying things like, oh, I'm just rubbish at that, or I really can't do that, I'm just never going to be able to manage, or these different things that we can say sometimes habitually. We can say them because we've learned to say them. Often we've been, maybe told that as a child, or we've heard that from our parents. So it's replacing negative thoughts with positive thoughts, learning to speak good things and say, do you know what, I might not be able to do that right now, but I think I can, and I'm going to really work on it, and I'm going to really try and improve that, or I'm really going to try and not get stressed out when this happens. List 5 things that you're thankful for, and being thankful is a power tool. Whenever we're feeling stressed and the whole world is crashing in at us, we can often flip that on its head, and it's such a powerful thing to do. So think of 5 things that you can be thankful for, and really focus on them. It could just be simple, very simple things. It could be, you're thankful to have food on the table. And it can shift our focus, shift our perspective, and start to really unclutter our minds. Completing an easy task is another one. Just those quick wins, we've all got big to-do lists. I do certainly on a daily basis, but I find my quick wins give me that boost, that bit of energy that I need to say, oh, good, I got that one done, that's good, and it was fairly easy. Even as something as simple as, cleaning a cupboard that's been bugging you or something like that, or even just reading a page of a book. I know it's not a task, but it's something you might have had on your mind that you think, oh, I really need to do that for me. That can be something that can boost you as well. And critically, and most of all, to be kind to your mind, be easy on yourself. Don't be harsh on yourself, and don't demand too much from yourself. We can all, push ourselves to the limit, and again keep saying, you still haven't done that, or come on, kind of thing. And okay, there's a bit of positive in that, where you can coach yourself to push past some obstacles, but also remember to be kind. If you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious and stressed, the last thing you need to do is place huge demands on yourself. There'll be a time for that and a place, but at that very moment when you're feeling like really stressed and overwhelmed, you need to take a step back and say, okay, it's time for me just to be easy on myself and be kind to myself as well. Okay, so be kind to your mind. Remember, it's an important thing. It's not something to neglect. We look after our bodies, we look after our physical appearance, we look after, keeping strong in our physical sense, but let's look after our minds as well, because that feeds everything else. Make some changes. Okay, this is a really good thing to do. There are often things that are making us overwhelmed that we can stop. That's another thing. There can be things that we've let come in that we haven't said no to, that can really build on that feeling. So make a wee list. I encourage you to make a wee list, and make a list of the concerns that are, that are overwhelming you. What are the key things that right now are making you feel anxious or overwhelmed with life? What are they? And list them down and chunk it out. Don't just huge big problem. Try and chunk it out. When you start to break things down into little things, they can seem a lot more achievable, a lot more able to be tackled. So chunk out those things that are contributing to that feeling, and prioritize. So there'll be things on there that you think, that's a biggie, and if I do that, that's going to actually probably tick a lot of other things off on my list. So prioritize and say, okay, this one's having a big impact because, and it could be a financial thing, it could be a relationship thing, a career thing. So just think about what that comes under and prioritize it, and take it a little bit at a time. Don't take off a huge big bite. Just start to look at it as a picture and little elements of that picture, and then start to think, well, how can I take a wee bit at a time in manageable stages. Again, the quick wins, there'll be quick wins in there that you can focus on and try to get those out of the way first, and then start to break the other ones down. Critically, get better at saying no. I know myself, I'm very, very guilty of just saying, yes, of course I'll do that. That's no problem at all. And then thinking later, oh gosh, that's a bit much. And why did I do that? And I've stretched myself too thinly. So get better at saying no. Gracefully, you can do it. You can say, I'm sorry, I really, really would love to help you at this point in time, or I'd really love to do that for you, but I really don't have the capacity right now. And my kids laugh at me because that's something that is part of my mantra. I'm sorry, I don't have the capacity right now. Maybe I will, and I'll come back to you when I do. But sometimes you need to be able to say no, and that's a powerful thing to be able to do, and practice doing that is a good thing to do. Ask for help if you need it. So don't try to take too much on yourself. There's always someone willing to help. And I think we always try and spin all those plates on our own. You know, we always try and say, well, I can keep going, it's fine, I don't want to bother anybody. But people really like to be asked sometimes if, you know, if they could help you. People like to help. And of course, they will try their very, very best to do that. So we're just going to stop again for a little minute and just have a think about 5 things. We talked about being grateful. So what are 5 things that we can be grateful for today? And just list them again right now. So I'll just give you a wee minute or two, and we'll just pause just now and come back in a wee minute. Okay, so just a wee recap. I hope you enjoyed that, thinking about the 5 things that you're grateful for. Sometimes it's hard and it takes a bit of time, but it's such a cool thing to do. So just to recap on what we've talked about today and how to deal with feeling overwhelmed, we're going to find time and space for calm. We're going to find time and space just to relax, just to enjoy time with ourselves. And sometimes that can be hard to do because sometimes we don't like ourselves very much, but it's good to find time and space for ourselves to calm and be kind to our mind. Be kind. Don't be speaking, really horrid things over yourself and telling yourself that, you've not matched up, you've not done good enough, that you're not enough, that you're those kind of that language, that belief system that we can have about ourselves. You need to challenge it. You need to work hard at saying good things. Even detailing a couple of things is really valuable, and just sort of saying, you can do it. You are enough. I know you can do it. And these kind of things can really help you, and be kind to your mind and make those changes. Make those little changes that are going to help you with feeling overwhelmed. The things that you've let get on top of you, and often it can be layer upon layer of different things that can come in, layer upon layer. And I often talk in my sessions about I like a visual, so I like to talk about something you can kind of visualize, and I often refer to things like your mind like a garden, because your garden is made up of many different things, and you've got a foundation layer, a very good foundation layer of soil, and all gardens have this layer of soil, whether they've got patios or grass or whatever. There's a layer of soil, and that is a core part of that garden. And our core is very important. And from your workout training that you've been doing, you'll have been focusing on your core and your physical sense, but also your mental core is very important, because at each of our cores we believe certain things, we've been built on certain things, our characters are a certain way, and it's so important to get to know ourselves better. And in some of my sessions we talk about that. We talk about getting to know yourself better and understanding your identity and what you're built to do, because we're not all built to do the same thing, otherwise we'd all be little robots walking around. So we've all got qualities, we've all got gifts and talents. Sometimes we can't see them because we've not really had the time or the space or the energy to bring them to the forefront. But making little changes is a power tool to really help you identify those, and to start to see that you can do things, that you can overcome, and you can make strides forward. And that the feeling that you have, the feeling of being overwhelmed and anxious and stressed and maybe just taking on too much, that will go. It will go. And you could probably look back at times when you have been really feeling very, very stressed and thought that the whole world was collapsing around you, but you overcame and you did get through it, and you managed to get to the next stage. So just to encourage you to do those 3 things: find time and space, be kind to your mind, and make those little changes. Okay, so a little challenge for you, and I just think this is fun to do. It's fun to do, to just embrace what we're talking about, is to find this week a little place for yourself to go and relax just for 5 minutes. In whatever environment you have. It could be even just at the park. I know it's cold just now, but somewhere you can go when things get a bit hectic, a little bit manic. And I know all our circumstances are different. Some of us have got little ones running around, or we might be caring for someone, and it's not always easy to do that. But when things get a bit hectic, what can you do to start focusing on some of the things we've been talking about in this session? Where can you go? Even 5 minutes earlier to bed, just to sit and really reflect on some of this stuff. And write down any feelings when you start to feel overwhelmed, stressed, or worried about things. Start to write them down. Clock when you're feeling like that, and clock what it is that's triggering that and making you feel like that. Again, a powerful thing is to write these feelings down, because you can look back. If you keep it up here, it can often just get muddied in with everything else. So I encourage you, and just like I was talking about those layers, when you start to unpack things, you can start to see what you're feeding your garden with, and what you're planting in there and nurturing in that garden. So it's so important to unpack any feelings that you've been getting and why. And the last thing is just practice daily gratitude. Try and have a moment in the day. It might be in the shower. It's always good to pinpoint a wee minute in the day where you can start to say, I'm so thankful because of this, and this. And you can really start your day off really well, or end your day really well. And that can definitely shift that feeling of stress and worry and anxiety, and make you feel a whole lot better. So that's a little challenge for you. I hope you enjoyed, and if you want to know more about what we do, you can visit our website at embracinglife.co.uk, and we do run sessions, wellbeing sessions just like this, where we look at a topic and talk about different things, anxiety, we look at self-esteem, we look at identity and things like that. So it's just to get to know ourselves better and to embrace who we are. And that's why we're called Embracing Life, because it's really about embracing who we are and embracing the life that we have, and how we can use that to really enhance our surroundings and enhance the community where we live. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to meet you soon. Okay, take care.